You have heard the names, and seen their story. After the saga was done, slowly people would see the truths behind it. Through 2020 people have noticed the many new truths about the saga, its origins, its theme and its messages, from myth to
mythology about guardian gods across the world. As everyone knows that wherever there's mythology, there are gods who have specific roles, whether major or minor. The classic instances are found in ancient Greek and various other myths across the world. First of all, let's know about Hercules, of Greek-Roman mythology. He's not only well known for masculinity and musculature, but also as the god who is the guardian of the mankind. He cares for the people as a guardian. Next, Vishnu of Hindu mythology will be worth mentioning. Vishnu, who's the supreme creator of the universe, has utmost cares for the mankind, that he, whenever needed, always, incarnated in many divine forms and births, to save the mankind from atrocities and tyranny. Lord Sanamahai, of ancient Meteor or mythology. Sanamahai is the son of the creator god, Aityasidaba in ancient Meteor mythology. He is best known for protecting the mankind from evils, from every corners of the world, every time. Thor, the god of thunder in Norse mythology, Scandinavian/Germanic mythology. Thor, the son of Odin, is also a god who is the guardian of the mankind. He always fight with ghosts, evils, spirits, and even dragons to protect his subject gods as well as mankind. We are at the beginning of a unique moment in Earth's history, at a time when humanity will experience events that will define the future of the human species and the continuity of life. As the planet shows itself increasingly vulnerable to human action in the physical, social, ecological, or spiritual, the future is drawn, in the same measure, big and full of winding paths and potential dangers. But, above all, we are presented with an outline of great hope for mankind. In order for humanity to continue on its path, the guardians of humanity created a training program for you to learn virtually knowledge considered forbidden. These texts contain ancient laws that governed the Jedi of Egypt. They were known as Anu's text, which contains the original aspects of Star Wars and the Jedi. It is where the universal law was written as well as natural law. The Jedi aspects are directly from Egypt's goddess Mate. To officially serve the world, and we come to make this call where we say that we need to bring together a large number of people who are increasingly committed to the good of humanity and raise awareness so that a difference be made with knowledge. Recognize that, amidst extraordinary cultural, social, spiritual, and political diversity, we are part of a universal family of the human trunk and participants in a global village whose destiny is the stars. United, we are able to generate enough energy to meet the needs of the nations of the world. We are able to form a physical and non-physical community united to make a difference and shape joint actions in order to beneficially influence governments and rulers, providing energetic and spiritual support so that they can carry out government projects based on ethics and respect for human values. These are our most pressing challenges. And in order to achieve these goals, there is a need for a training program, where everyone is included, with respect for nature, universal human rights, justice, and interest in developing and promoting a culture of peace. It is imperative that the horizons of the future extend far beyond today's borders, encompassing the needs of all humanity. We need to awaken our awareness and responsibility for a healthy and structured psychic activity for the greater good of humanity. And to face the spiritual challenges that gravitate around governments and permeate the world's institutions responsible for the advancement of peoples, we need helpers from the invisible, volunteer missionaries and men and women of goodwill, much more than religious and partisan. The spiritual forces that militate behind the scenes trying to impede the evolutionary process and human regeneration make human existence challenging and the administration of world governments difficult to sustain. The ability to help the world and work together with the superior guardians is a reality that needs to be nurtured. The future of humanity depends very much on the joint action of those who have already awakened to the need to help the peoples of the earth more broadly. The success of the work depends on the formation of a healthy psychic atmosphere which can be shared and encouraged by humans on both sides of life. A choice presents itself in this process of regeneration: form an alliance with the representatives of divine justice in order to work for the good of humanity, mainly in the backstage of life, in dimensions close to the physical, or risk the prolongation of pain in the world and the exile that will define the roles with or without our participation. Substantial changes are needed in our way of looking at the extra-physical world and the reality of spiritual influences in a broader context than what we are used to. We have on this side of life all the potential that can be placed at the service of man on earth and the continuation of earthly humanity, even considering the transition times that are beginning. But for that to happen we need agents of good. We need people who are aware and prepared, although without the sense of urgency, to avoid unnecessary mistakes, but still prepare to assist the guardians of humanity, agents of the governing forces of the world. Political, spiritual, social, and global challenges are inextricably linked and need to be intelligently faced by those committed to the evolution of the world under the patronage of the Divine Lamb. In order to achieve these goals and be able to develop joint action with our incarnated partners, it is necessary to develop a sense of universal responsibility, instructing and exercising psychic abilities that are still embryonic, but already powerful, to serve as a link between non-physical entities and those who need immediate help. Even if you are citizens of different countries, you are above all citizens of the world and multidimensional beings, agents of divine justice, enlisted in the great army of Christ to share responsibility for the present and the future, for what is happening on earth and behind the scenes. The sense of kinship and solidarity with all humanity will be increasingly present in their minds and hearts as they revere life and work at any level of consciousness, whether physical or non-physical. Such behavior will enhance people's ability to give themselves fully to the greater good of a renewed humanity. For the first time in the history of humankind on the earth, we will face together with a general judgment in order to eradicate from the earth the shadowy cysts of suffering and pain and the agents of chaos that interpose between the evolutionary forces of humanity and the happiness of the peoples of the planet. For the first time, the world will experience a global selection process carried out within humanity itself, which will initially cause enormous disturbances, and soon after, the foundations for humanity more aware of its duties and responsibility for the terrestrial biome, which includes spiritual life and the wonderful diversity of life on the surface of the world. All this calls us to seek partners in the world of men, the so-called alive, partners who can put themselves at the disposal of the superior forces of good and light, of evolution and of life, in order to work together for the implantation of justice on earth. You probably believe African gods are evil, and it is not entirely your fault. The culturalization of the modern African is largely regulated by Western standards, and it is difficult to appreciate African spirituality in such a system. He used photomanipulation to bring the Orishas, deities recognized in Niger and Benin, to life. According to Lewis, throughout my formal education from elementary up through college I never heard tale of African deities. A little over a month ago I began to research online to find information in regards to the gods and goddesses of Africa. To my surprise there were many, however the ones that stood out the most were the deities of Nigeria and Benin, West Africa, which they referred to as Orishas. With such an amazing vision, Lewis created iconic works which cannot be faulted. He said, I wanted to portray the regal beauty of each Orisha while also representing their majestic sensuality. Each iconic depiction was rendered to lend strength to our resilience as a great race of people and to show our youth that they are beautiful, bold and brilliant just the way God created them to be. Each Orisha's name is written in the Yoruba dialect and captures imagery of powerful men, women and children of various complexions who are all of African descent. Immerse yourself in the glory of African gods.